Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to be with you and to share the news with you, folks. I've got a big show. We're going to pack a lot into a little amount of time. We had an election win, an election loss that never should have been lost. We have a big election coming up. We have a huge win that Mike Lindell really carried across the goalposts. I'm going to talk a little bit about that as well. There's just so much news dropping here. So good to see you on. Please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from, folks. But really quickly, look at this out of the Pennsylvania State Legislature. And look who we have joining us on the show today. We've got Mr. Mike Lindell. Mike, good to have you on.
Hey, thanks, Neil. Thanks for having me on. It's a great day for America. Yesterday, starting rolling into today. I know you have a little bit of bad news there, but you guys, there's so much even more than you could than you know about, Neil. That I just was feeling. I got calls all the way to midnight last night.
Yeah, no, this is a big one, Mike, and you really, you would not back off this issue. So, for those who don't know, there was a huge victory for election integrity yesterday. We're going to tell you about that in just a second, but I want you to look at this. This is a red district in Pennsylvania. Okay. And I'm concerned because what happens, Mike, is people see Trump get elected on the national level and then they think, oh, well, Trump's got it. And they kind of fall asleep. And this, we're looking at 29% Republican turnout in Pennsylvania. This is the state legislature, lost by 482 votes.
Okay. Well, I got a couple things.
Let me finish here. This is 50% to 49.11 in the Libertarian poll, 0.89, which would have basically made it a tie. But I want to bring this up because in the great state of Wisconsin, a radical left Democrat who is insistent on bringing hardened criminals that we remove to faraway places back into our country, allowing men into women's sports, open borders, and more, is running against a strong common sense Republican. Just call him Brad Scheimel for the Wisconsin Supreme Court. This is a huge race. And here's what people don't understand, Mike. What they're going to do is redistrict Wisconsin and cost the Republicans 2 seats if this far left judge wins.
Right.
This is right now. I don't think there has ever been more money poured into a state race than what's taking place in Wisconsin right now. Do you want to talk quickly about that race, Mike?
Yeah. I'm going to tell two things there. One is on the Pennsylvania race, you guys. That's why what we're going to talk about in a little bit about the stuff the president's putting in to secure our election platforms are so important. Right now in the interim, we've got to, just like in the presidential election, it's got to be too big to rig right now. People have to turn out right now till we get these things fixed, no matter what. The race in Wisconsin, everybody, is more important than you could ever imagine. Why? I dealt with the Supreme Court of Wisconsin over the last 4 years. They were the one Supreme Court that actually made good rulings, actually helped our cause. Remember, everybody, that's the same Supreme Court that ruled that there was widespread fraud in Wisconsin. Of course, it was shut down by crooked Robin Vos, the Speaker of the House, a Republican, a uniparty Republican, one of the worst in the nation. But Brad's race there, I can't stress the importance of this. They're going to go for that because they know that Wisconsin was a shining light, that Supreme Court in Wisconsin. We can't lose that seat. We've got to get him. He's got to win this. It's so important, everybody.
Well, and many people don't know this, Mike, but everybody says, oh, Trump lost all of his cases. No, he didn't. Right? No, he didn't. First off, that's just absurd. But I want to talk specifically in Wisconsin. The Supreme Court there actually gave President Trump a ruling that said that indefinitely confined was overused and that there was 100 and some odd thousand votes that were in question. I can't remember the exact number right now, but the remedy was for the Trump campaign to call all these voters and then find out who was the fraudulent ones with a couple days left. I mean, they couldn't make it happen, but they did rule that what went on in Wisconsin was way wrong. Now, this is the big thing yesterday that happened, and I'll just pull this in. I'm going to pull in your tweet on it, Mike. But the executive order on elections just happened yesterday. And, Mike, I want to get into this a little bit more in depth, but I know you got some great specials going on, so I want to let you talk about those real quick as we discuss this executive order, because this I really feel was a big win for you, Mike. I mean, you told me this was coming. You had
Yeah,
told
it
me.
was huge, and this is just the first part. Like the president said, this is just the beginning of securing our elections. And he said it's an honor for me to sign this one. He knows this is the platform that we have to fix because everything else comes from our elected officials. And he even said, he goes, people are wondering why am I doing this when I won by a landslide? He knows all these down tickets that they stole in the 2024 election. 4 senators, 9 congressmen, and all these things. But we'll get to that in a second. And I want to thank you, Neil, for having me on. Your audience has helped MyPillow so much. They get us through these attacks that we're under right now. Everybody, we're still getting attacked. Why don't? Because they don't want your elections to be secure. They don't want to go to paper ballots hand counted like the president wants. So what we're doing in the box stores, Neil, I don't know if you know this. Yesterday, we had 4 big orders, trucks going out with these box store orders yesterday, Neil, and they canceled on us as these were going out. We made them 2 weeks. We made these big orders, and they canceled just yesterday. This happened yesterday, so what we're doing, what was going to go in the box stores were these percale sheets, Giza Dream sheets, and we're passing the savings on to you. No middlemen. We've got so many of those that they were going to take. Once they're gone, they're gone. But you're going to get the percale Dream sheets, these ones right here, for $29.98 per queen, $34.98 per king. Of course, all the other sizes we have too that are even lower than that. $29.98 per queen. You guys, are you hearing me? $34.98 per king. Use promo code LUMBERJACK. I'm going to give you guys a quick number to call, 800, or there it is, 800-568-2865. So go to mypillow.com/lumberjack. You're not going to find this on the MyPillow website. This is an exclusive for the lumberjack audience. You guys have had our back, and now we need you. We need your help again, and you're helping yourself. Wholesale prices, the Giza Dream sheets and the percale sheets. By the way, it's our president's favorite product, Neil.
Favorite product. You can sleep like President Trump. You can sleep like
President Trump. That's why, we know he doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep much, but when he does, it's quality, everybody.
That's right. Yeah.
So thanks there. And you know what? What a blessing. What he did yesterday.
Yeah, let's
just tell you guys, he did an executive order, and I'm going to tell you just a few things. Mandatory voter ID with proof of citizenship. I want everybody to understand that part. And at the same time, Neil, in New York yesterday, the Supreme Court of the state of New York, or New York, whatever it was, overturned and said, no, we're getting rid of this thing where they were letting there was a law put in there that everybody got to vote. Illegals, you just vote away. We don't care. So they did it at the same time yesterday. Another great thing going on. But the president, a mandatory ID with proof of citizenship, no more ballots counted after Election Day. What a concept, right?
Oh, yeah, that's big.
You have no paper ballots only with, this is very important, everybody, no QR codes and no barcodes. What that means is when you voted, like down in Georgia, and you voted and you came out and there's your paper and it's a barcode, you don't know what that says behind that barcode. That's called the computer manipulation. I can give you something with a barcode on it. And boy, they blew up yesterday. The left blew up on that, going, well, these people aren't going to be able to vote. It's going to disenfranchise 20 million voters that don't have IDs. Well, you know what? 20 million of the United States that don't have IDs, probably illegal, or go get one. You can get a state ID.
Sure.
You can get something,
Mike, I'm bringing this in because this is absolutely hilarious. I don't know if you've ever seen this video. Mark Dice did this. Check this out. Speaking of voter ID, watch this. The white liberal is, as Malcolm X said, the biggest enemy to the black people in the country. Check this out.
What opinion on voter ID laws?
Yeah, they're usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as to say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely. Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also would make it difficult for Black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for Black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of Black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem.
Okay, so they're just basically
it's bizarre. I mean, you look at that, everybody. If I'm a Black person, I'm going, what do you think we're stupid? What are you doing to us? I mean, it's unbelievable. I'll tell you what. I was in the streets. Let me tell you, Neil, back in my crack days, I was in the street. The one thing I could get was an ID. I mean, I didn't have a driver's license for over 20 years. For over 20 years, everybody, you get an ID card because you get carded everywhere. You buy liquor, and back in the day, you go into a Target store and they carded you for buying cough syrup. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
So,
No.
Believe me, people have IDs. This is all these liberals that are out there. They're listening to the brainwashing of the media. Yesterday, I was reading all this stuff, the Daily Mail, the horrible publication, the biggest in the world out of the UK. They did a whole little, hit job on this and say, there's 20 million people. Well, it's just it's going to have these people, they won't be able to vote and all this. And you just heard it from them going, some of these people can't get IDs. What do they live in? Do they live in the middle of the woods in Canada? I don't get it.
They don't know how to use the internet, Mike.
Yeah.
People
I bet you they can all get cell phones. Every one of them's got a cell phone. How'd they get that? Give me a break.
Well, data costs money. I mean, didn't you hear that Black people don't have the money to get data?
It's very prejudiced.
They're all convicted felons. They can't even vote.
Yeah, it's so racist that the liberals are one of the most racist people I can ever see. What they're doing there. It's reverse racism. I want to say another thing, everybody. This was such a great day. And this is just the beginning. Our president said, there's a lot more to come in the coming weeks. Okay. I know what was laid out, what has to lay out to secure our elections. One of them is to completely get rid of every electronic voting machine there is known to man, melt them down, turn them into prison bars. Yesterday, here's another news, everybody. And these are all things that have manifested from events we had the last 4 years out of the state of Arkansas yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's another big one. I forgot this one.
Yeah, Arkansas, everybody, the voting machines are going to lose certification. All of them are illegal. They're going to lose their certification. This is going down as we speak. Well, let me tell you, everybody, every single voting machine in the United States is illegal. Why? Okay, a couple reasons. One is Obama made our election platforms critical infrastructure. Okay, what that means is all these machine companies, these machines need to be made with USA parts, including ES&S, just because they're based in Omaha, Nebraska. ES&S, that's the biggest voting machine company in the United States, everybody. They have broke antitrust laws, selling Diable to Dominion, all kinds of stuff. And anyway, all of these things are made with parts from where? China. Okay. And then you have then yesterday also we had CISA, the corrupt CISA. These are I forget what it stands for. Cyber blah blah blah.
Cyber Security Infrastructure Security Agency, and that's Chris Krebs, the most secure election ever in the history of the world.
Most secure election ever. But yesterday they're in the Senate hearing. And the guys are drilling. Why is President Trump cutting back on CISA workers? Well, maybe they have better things to do because you know what CISA did in the last 4 years? They went to South Dakota one time, had a big conference. The conference was, what are we going to do with Mike Lindell? And everybody, you can't listen to anything he says. That was their conference. So
making an impact, Mike.
CISA is in on this. They have blocked us. They blocked the Rassenberger curling case down in Georgia for over 5 years.
Yeah,
it's a corrupt organization. They don't protect us. You put this in there, and they're going, well, they're not on the internet. They have a bureau to protect us from that, but all the machines are on the internet every single day. And another thing, Chris Krebs, you just said it, this the top of the CISA back in November of 2020, everybody, he made the comment that blocked us all. Well, they said Donald Trump appointed Chris Krebs, said it was the most secure election ever. Remember that?
Yep, I totally remember it, man.
3 months later, Chris Krebs was on Morning Joe with Adam Shifty, and they asked him, what's the biggest threat to the United States right now? Here's what he said. A cyber attack with China right down to the local elections. You guys, the guy was corrupt. The CIS is corrupt. The only thing that CIS is different than the CIA and FBI is one letter. You know, they always say these 3-letter things come in. Well, that's a 4-letter.
4-letter, I know. It's kind of a weird one.
We need to have running our country an election bureau, an election crime bureau. Well, we already have one. You know, that's what I have, Neil.
That's right.
We've got all this stuff in place. We know where we know where all the illegal stuff is being done. We know what's going on. But I'll tell you, the president doing that executive order yesterday, that's a huge step. You got to start in steps here. You got to get rid of all the illegals voting, and that's going to happen. And by the way, he says right in there, if you don't listen, states, guess what? You're going to be defunded. Remember when a couple weeks ago with the governors where they said men and women's sports, and that lady from Maine, that governor from Maine, she spouted up, well, I really like men and women's sports. The president goes, well, then you ain't going to have any funds. And she said, well, we'll go to court. And I'm going, president says, well, we'll see court.
Mike, is that really a lady? I mean, I'm actually wondering on that one. Okay, wait. So one of the things that this executive order did was it rescinded Joe Biden's executive order. And that's 14019. And folks, if you want to read a bunch of gobbledygook, we're not going to go through the whole thing here. But the right to vote is the foundation of American democracy, free and fair elections. Yeah, exactly. Black voters and other voters of color have faced discriminatory policies like, IDs, folks. So what this was designed to expand voting. Okay, so it's not about expanding legal voting. It's about expanding voting.
That's right.
And it's all vote by mail. It's every single thing you don't want to see in elections that make it easier to corrupt was all in here. In fact, one of the rules, and I could go through all this, but I've read it before, was making it available in every single language under the sun. That was in here. Basically, I mean, it was all these different languages that all needed to be available in, which costs us extra money, but also ensures that people who have not become naturalized citizens are allowed to vote.
Right.
That's the whole point of that. And the real horror of this all, and we were saved by Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin of this. I mean, many people don't remember this, but this is H.R. 1, the For the People Act. And Kyrsten Sinema, I didn't agree with her on much, but I'm telling you, I don't know where she got religion on that thing to say, no, this is the bridge too far.
Right.
This was, additionally, the bill sets forth provisions related to election security, sharing intelligence information and so on, but it was all about expanded same day. Here you can see it. Specifically, the bill expands voter registration, automatic and same day. So automatic voter registration, folks, meaning that no matter who you are, if you just stop by the DMV, man, all of a sudden you get your driver's license, you're in. Now, illegals get driver's license all the time. And voting access, vote by mail and early voting. Okay. Yeah. It also limits removing voters from voter rolls. This was H.R. 1. It was designed to corrupt our elections in perpetuity forever. It was unbelievable. So, I mean, Trump's executive order on this, and I don't know where this is going to land with all the court challenges, because we've seen you have any predictions there, Mike? And I don't want to keep you too much.
Well, you just battle and battle like we have. I mean, if you're watching what you just said there, if you're from Oregon, everybody, you're going, wow, that's what we got going on. They've been fighting there because their motor vehicle, when you go get your lights, just like you say, you're automatically put to vote or registered, and that's wrong. They don't like it there. You go to Utah, it's so corrupt there where you don't even have. It's all mail-in voting. There's no same-day voting, so it's just pure crime. I call it pure crime. You guys, there is a reason that 132 countries have banned electronic voting machines. The last one that banned it was Argentina. Their country became free overnight. One judge made the ruling, and it was beautiful. Over 100 countries, wait on it, have banned early voting and mail-in voting. Everyone in the world puts their elections are sacred. That's where it all comes from. You have people You can't have people that are selected by the deep state globalists, uniparty, CCP. And that's where we're at. And this great executive order, I'll tell you what, Neil, it's got me. I mean, I'm on fire. I'm going to be doing, we're back, and it's going to make us so much easier for my teams on the ground. And by the way, you can all learn about this at lindellplan.com, everybody. We've had the plan. We have 300,000 people on the ground in all 50 states as we work county by county to go in and say, hey, we want to go to paper ballots here in our county. And you're talking to your clerk. Most counties can vote them out. And if they have any pushback, you go, hey, our president just said that we need to secure our elections. What are you, and you're going to filter out these people. Why would everyone, Neil, want secure elections? Okay. Some of them are absolutely completely brainwashed, like you showed earlier, these liberals that go, well, if you do that, if you do this, they're going to try and pick apart each thing. Well, you know what? That they don't understand. They're just misconstrued, and they're being duped into this thinking that's wrong. They did a poll yesterday or 2 weeks ago in Alabama, everybody, 50% Democrats, 50% Republicans. Okay, exactly. Okay. Mm-hmm. The poll came out, 68% of the people want paper ballots hand counted. This is in Alabama where it's all red, right? But 50%, and still the Democrats were a little lower, but the majority of both of the people, this is what we want. We want elections we can trust. It's common sense.
Yeah, I mean, if we're a representative republic, I mean, obviously the will of a people should eventually be set forth. But the problem with this is, with elections, is you can subvert the will of the people, so the will of the people doesn't matter anymore. That's right. Why this is their hill to die on, it seems, to keep us from having secure elections.
Yep, it is. And Neil, that's why. This is what I've been telling people. They call me, they go, Mike, boy, when Donald Trump won, you got vindicated. No, I'm not done. We're just getting started here. We have to secure our elections. This isn't about one election, everybody. Yeah. They stole 4 senators and 9 congressmen in the 2024 election. Neil, when you say people, don't get complacent now that Donald Trump's going to be, that ain't just getting out to vote. That's it. Everybody, we've got to keep pushing to get to paper ballots, hand counted, secure our election, because every down ticket, every school board race, every judge race, every down ticket everywhere in this country matters. You can sit there. North Carolina, Neil. North Carolina, the president swept it, won by a landslide. Yes. They stole almost every down ticket in North Carolina. Now, it doesn't make sense when things are happening, these deviations in history you've never seen before. And why is that happening? Because they're using tools to cheat now that they didn't have before 20 some years ago. There's a reason that everyone has banned these computers used in their election. And I'm telling you, everybody, when you see the executive order here of no QR codes or barcodes, that is so key, because when you go to vote and it prints out paper, but you can't see who you voted for because it's a barcode on there. You follow me, Neil? Mm-hmm. This is how we're counting them, and boom, it comes up. We're protecting what? Me to see my own ballot? I see it on a screen, and boom, it's gone in an instant. This is a very good start, everybody. This is a start, and there's a lot more coming. I will tell you that straight out. There's a lot more coming. So
you told me the first one. You said this is coming, and I'm like, there it is. There it is. I mean, as soon as the news broke, I'm like, it was funny because I was out with my kids and I wanted to do a breaking story on it so bad, but I was doing other things. But Mike, I know you've got to get going. You've got a busy day, but I want you to mention again, because I saw this comment right here. Is Casual Interloper said, I think I'll be ordering some sheets soon. Right. These deals don't last forever, folks.
No, this is a very limited one too, you guys. We had the box stores cancel us again. This was a big order for our famous Giza Dream sheets and Percale sheets. All the ones that were allotted for the box stores, one of them just canceled their order yesterday. The trucks were ready to go out. So I said, you know what? I've had it with that. I'll start putting the box stores name in lights. But for now, we've got a lot of inventory on these sheets that were allotted for the box stores. You guys get them for the wholesale prices that they would have paid. Well, now you know, like the Giza Dream, the Percale sheets, you go to MyPillow.com /lumberjack, you're going to see the first thing is going to be these sheets. $29.98, regular $89.98, $29.98. They're in the upper left corner there. $29.98 for the queen size. I think there's over 16 different colors, and $34.98 for the king, you guys. These are wholesale prices. This is very much an exclusive with that promo code Lumberjack. If you call the 800 number, you make sure you tell them right away Lumberjack. You go, oh, you get the good prices. You get the wholesale prices. Those box stores, their loss is all of your gain, everybody. And we got the famous Giza Dream Sheets. They're up to 50% or up to 50% off on those. So you guys get them while they're there. And one other thing too, I want to say, Neil, our crouches that I got, you can get them too, 30% off. That's an exclusive too. The crouches like I wear, and that's been my most requested product I think ever.
Yeah.
And got them for men's and women. So
yeah, because they're 20% off on the rest of the site. I mean, I've seen that. They're 20% off. You get them for 30% off with
30% off on your site there. Yep. You guys, this is where you got to do your shopping. If you love MyPillow products, go to the mypillow.com /lumberjack. Neil, you have been such a support of MyPillow and your audience. I can't thank you enough. And
well, thank you, Mike. We're getting secure elections. Okay, look, you have laid it all on the line. I mean, you're still dealing with lawsuits in the billions of dollars. Yeah. Okay. And they didn't drop them after Trump won. They're still going after you. Right. This is their hill. I mean, they want to take you down. And so I've always said, buying from mypillow.com /lumberjack or calling 800-568-2865 is like a quadruple win because you get to support my show. You get to support Mike Lindell. You get the best sleep products available, and you get them for the best price.
Right. Yeah. It's a win-win-win-win. That's absolutely right. Yeah. And you guys, when you support MyPillow, here's another thing. This past year has been such an attack on MyPillow. And so I've had to constantly be taking care of that. And then also, like the Attorney General just went after my Lindell Recovery Network. So why are they doing all this? Because they don't want me and my teams out there securing our elections. And let me tell you, Neil, the president, you say, well, I wonder they're going to be tied up in courts from that level. You know what? Even if that's the case, we have the teams that have been working on the ground for 4 years. We're going to be able to point to that, and it's going to open doors that no man can shut, and shut doors that no man can open, just like in the Bible, everybody. So your support of MyPillow just ripples out. And if it's an employee-owned company, I worry about them every day because of the attacks, and MyPillow is still here, and it's because of all of you and the grace of God. Otherwise, there's no way. As we've been the most attacked company in history, and you see it right now. They're even trying to do it to Elon with Tesla, and but we've endured it now for over 4 years, and it's not letting up. And but at least we know why it's not letting up, and we know that you guys have our back out there, and so really today, if you can help out, get yourself the best sleep in history. And the best products.
It's true.
I don't sell products.
Yeah. My 3 favorite products, Mike. Yeah. 3 favorite products. Yep. Giza sheets, probably number 1. And I mean, I love MyPillow. I got it from your relative at a show years before I even know. This is back in like 2011, 2012. I got it from it.
Right. Wow.
But I love the pillow. But I love those Giza sheets. I never knew that sheets were such a thing until I got those. I love the roll and go pillow because I take it on my elk hunting trips and my Boundary Waters trips. And then the other thing, I love your towels, man.
Yeah, well, they actually dry you.
It's just phenomenal.
Every product that I either invent or improve on. Yeah. I either invent them or improve on them. We just take apart the problem and the solution. Towels didn't dry. They felt all like oily, and there's a reason for that we don't need to go into. But I had the towels completely redid them, what they were supposed to be, soft, but yet they absorb. And you brought up I want to say one more thing before we go. You brought up the pillows. The roll and go pillows, but you guys, right now at $9.98, you get the MyPillow 2.0 inside with all these choices. MyPillow.com /lumberjack. $9.98. Once these are gone, they're gone. These are commemorative pillows. God, all things are possible. We're out of the ones where I'm holding the flag. Actually, there was about 10 left, but I took them all for, my own, to keep them for. We're going to have a lot of memories over these last years, everybody. But we've got a lot of these left, and you've got the Eagle. I mean, we've got all these that, and they're so functional, as you know, Neil.
Oh, they're the best.
Backrest, everything. Your trips, use them for backrest, sit on everything.
You know what else? Yeah, because like when I was, I had thrown my back out before I went on an elk hunting trip to Idaho, and the chiropractor said that I needed to get something to place under, on the back side of the seat to elevate me a little bit back there. And I used my roll and go pillow. I use it as a knee pillow. I use it as my camping pillow. I mean, those things are the greatest. And I didn't even realize this, Mike, but something that should be said, I didn't, for some reason, I haven't been mentioning this, but you've got free shipping on orders over $75 again?
Yeah, you're right. We added that back in, you guys. Order away. And if you scroll down, I want to show it. Go ahead and scroll down, Neil, quick. There it is, you guys. Look at that, $9.98. There's a limit of 50 in there because once they're gone, they're gone. But this is the MyPillow 2.0 on the inside. And then plus all these great covers that we've had for the last 4 years. And we're I
have every one of those pillows here.
$9.98. I mean, and then you guys forget too, we have dish towels. We have over 200 and some products that you can, use that lumberjack code on. But the other thing too is I don't think we talk about the beds enough. Our beds, I helped design them, and our mattress toppers. Those two items, 100% made in the USA. The employees, they put everything that's put into them is not just their work, but also the design of them. When you have two kinds of sleep, REM and Delta sleep, and you go through these sleep cycles where MyPillow gets you, it's like your brain recalibrating. You also need to have your body, when you go into this Delta sleep. So if you're waking up in the morning and you got a side ache or a backache or whatever, guess what, you guys? It's not going to change. You need a different input to get a different output. Remember, everybody, we have a 60-day money-back guarantee on everything, 10-year warranty on all of our stuff. And the beds, I believe it's even a longer warranty. I'm not sure on that. A longer guarantee. But I'll tell you, you're going to, one night on MyPillow mattress topper or bed, it's life-changing. And if you got a new bed, and you go, oh, it's just not what I laid on in the store. Well, that's not going to change. You get the technology that's in our MyPillow mattress topper, any of our toppers, you put that technology on top of any mattress, it's a game changer. You just saved yourself having to return the bed. It turns that bed into the best rejuvenation station you're ever going to sleep on. And the two in combined are just amazing. So
my son and daughter-in-law got the mattress. You ran a good sale on them before, and they picked it up, and they said it's just phenomenal. And then you got coffee, so you can have this great sleep, and then you're going to be getting up in the morning.
That is the best coffee, everybody. This came from all the entrepreneurs at my other platform, mystore.com. You can also use the promo code Lumberjack over there. But all of a sudden, I was brought this coffee about 3 years ago. And I remember I drank coffee all over the country. I was going everywhere in this country trying to save the country, meeting with all the politicians and everything. Well, I'm sleeping in hotels, and every hotel had a different coffee. And all of a sudden, back here, I get back to Minnesota, and it comes over across my desk, this little company out of Miami. And I tasted it. I said, this is different. This is the most amazing coffee I've ever taken. So I met with them. This microbrewery for coffee, and they get all their own beans out of, I think it's Colombia, but everything, I went through the whole process about coffee and what they do different than others, and it is amazing. It's not bitter. You could drink it. If you're used to cream and sugar, you don't even need it. It's the best tasting coffee I've ever had in my life.
It really is. It's great coffee. So yeah. Well, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on the show today. Again, thank you for not giving up the fight. We just had this huge executive order. As you say, there's more coming down the road. Yep. Again, folks, go support Mike. I mean, he's fought the good fight. He's fought the good fight of faith, and he's done it in spite of every obstacle. I mean, you look at people like Donald Trump, Mike Lindell, who are out there fighting for this country and taking real pain as a result of it. It would be much easier for Mike to have just ignored elections and just gone on and sold pillows. And Walmart, I know, had dropped you. I can't remember all the big box stores that had dropped you at that time. It was wild. Fox News dropped you from advertising. It was endless.
Costco, Bed Bath & Beyond, Kohl's, the list went on. And we were their number one selling product ever in this country, and all of them, the biggest buy through ever. And I was thinking after this election that they would come back, and we've reached out to them and still going, and why? Because you're afraid of the American dream. I used to be a complete crack addict in the streets, and to get to build this amazing company made in the USA with this employee-owned company, and these box stores are punishing them because why? Because I want to secure our elections and have fair elections. I don't got a problem with who wins as long as they win fairly.
Yeah.
I think that's the bottom line.
Exactly. It's a representative republic. And I got to let you go, though, Mike. I'm going to get text from Caitlin saying, Neil, you're too long.
Thank you, Neil. God bless you all. And thanks for helping out MyPillow and my employees. We always thank you, Neil, for having us.
Yeah, and call the 800 number. That's the best way to order. 1-800-568-2865. We'll see you on the next episode, folks. Peace out.